sunset colors in it.
Okay.
Yeah. I know that's really weird sounding. I don't usually talk about it out loud because it's a weird thing.
Low key, it's one of my favorite things about people.
Really?
Just like as a
About brains,
yeah,
it is definitely fascinating.
like just the fact that can happen is really cool.
Yeah, I'm stuck. Like last night, I was wondering if I should do biochemistry, if I should continue with biochemistry or go back to neuroscience for my PhD. I really don't know.
What are you doing on this show?
That's an important question.
Talking about
This is
fair magic,
A Yoko
obviously.
show for jabronis.
Yeah.
I'm also that person, though. I think. I mean, when I played League, I definitely turned into a jabroni.
It's really bad.
He
It's
looks
really
over and he's
bad.
like, I'm dating a 14. I'm so sorry.
Oh damn.
I love you.
It's just at night. At night it's really bad.
Yeah.
Because I'm just like half asleep and she's like, take that and suck my dick.
No,
You guys aren't recording.
I have unfortunate news for you. We are
Yeah.
actually recording.
We've been recording the whole time, right?
Pretty much. That
Yeah.
is the recurring joke that I do every time.
Oh,
I figured that was gonna happen.
Oh, man.
no.
We're going to cut out a fair amount of this.
That's true.
We ready? Is
Yeah.
everyone ready?
Fair
All right.
magic.
Welcome to Fair Magic, the video, television, podcast, radio series, where I take people who have come here of their own free will at a normal time of day.
Yep.
And we discuss potential Magic the Gathering cards that we made up and whether or not they are fair. Welcome to the show, Tristan and Ray, recurring guest Ian, and also I'm here, and I won't tell you my name.
That's true.
We're here to talk about alternate
I
win
remember.
conditions today. Ways to win Magic the Gathering that aren't knocking off all the wizard hats on your opponent's head. Because they start with 20 or sometimes 40. You gotta knock them off.
Yep.
So I heard you guys talking about some heaters. And I'm hoping that you'll talk about them while I come up with one.
All right. So we're doing end conditions, right? Like
Yeah.
Win conditions, yeah.
win condition cards. I already have one. I have one. prepared.
What you got? You wrote it
So,
down?
I did
What
because
is
I
this?
thought it was such a good idea. Okay.
Nice.
So I wasn't sure if I wanted to make it a blue-green or just blue, and I don't know the cost, so that's something that we can talk about. But it says, when you counter a creature card, that player gets a token, like the person that you countered. If that person has X tokens, you win the game.
Okay.
You may remove Y number of tokens to counter a target spell of converted mana cost Y or less. So
Okay.
that's just like a bonus thing that you get. So say that I counter 5 of your creature cards after
Okay.
putting this
Alright.
enchantment down.
So every time you counter it gets
They get a
another
one.
whatever
They
token.
get a
It
one.
gets a token.
That player gets a Wumpus token.
Right. If I get a certain number of tokens, I win the game. But I can spend a different number of tokens, Y, like X and Y, to counter target spell of converted mana cost Y or less.
Okay.
Which is why I
It's
wanted
any
to make it, it's any spell, not just creature spells. Which is why I wanted to make it blue-green, because it's definitely like a blue-leaning enchantment, but
Go blue-red.
blue-red,
Yeah,
or
yes.
is it, do you
Yeah.
think? Okay,
So is it?
alright. Okay, but then what would the numbers be? That's the only thing that I don't have.
So
How many creature spells do you need to counter before you win the game?
Exactly.
specifically creature spells.
Minimum
Yes.
4, I think.
Yeah,
Yes,
Probably
definitely.
5.
I think 5.
If you counter 5
So-
creature spells,
I was thinking
You win the
4 is a playset of a certain counter card, like Capture Sphere. I mean, counter is, what counter spells are there? And is it right now?
There's blue. Is it? I don't think there are.
I mean,
Oh,
blue.
yeah, 'cause-
Yeah, blue spells.
it'd have to be 4, right? Because you can only have 4 in your deck.
But,
It'd have to be
but
5 just for hard mode.
right, 5 is hard mode. So it could be like 5, but then I would want it to only be a blue costing enchantment.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So if it's blue and red, when you counter a creature card, then I want it to be 4. Like there aren't as many counter spells as there are like when you
You
get
can
one in
also,
blue.
the crazy thing about this is that you can spend any number of those counters to counter CMC X spell, where X is the number of counters spent. That's what's actually good about this card.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you can make a CMC 4,
Uh-huh.
blue, red, and 2, counter target creature spell, and then after that you just get like stifle with no drawback on
Yeah.
the stick.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Is this card fair magic?
No, it's not stifle though, because it doesn't counter activated abilities, only spells. So you'd have to cast
Yeah,
a
no,
0-drop spell.
It's like mental misstep, but
Yeah.
for yeah
Yeah.
mental misstep on a stick, which is that's the part of the spell that's like actually insane.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So is it fair?
Is it fair magic? I don't think that's fair.
Okay.
I think being able to just count like tempo play, counter something, then you get a permanent static effect that is counter the next
Yeah.
CMC 1 thing your opponent plays for the rest of the game is like kind of crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
What if you cut that part out and it's just after you counter this number of
It's just Atrada,
certain
the counter spell.
spells?
I'm down with that.
Yeah. Atrada, the counter spell is fair
Yeah,
magic.
you could even put that at 3.
Yeah, that'd be
Ding ding ding.
wild.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, no, because if it's an enchantment, if you blow up the enchantment, they don't win.
Exactly.
I thought it was an instant.
Enchantment.
It's an enchantment.
Yeah.
Because it has to stick around to be able to keep producing the
Oh
counter.
Yeah.
Jesus! I thought you were giving your opponent a counter, like a poison counter.
No.
Oh no no
Like
no
it's
no.
just
Yeah
a
yeah.
counter
That,
spell that
Yeah.
does that.
yeah. It's an enchantment.
Gives them a counter that says crazy paragraph of text. That
Yeah.
I'm, just,
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm really fucking over
But it's not
myself. in the
necessarily-
future.
But it's not necessarily a legendary enchantment.
Okay, so it's an enchantment.
It would have to be a legendary
Yeah,
enchantment.
100%.
But then if you would destroy, but it's so easy to destroy enchantments. Is it that broken? Do you
In
think?
certain formats.
You get 4 cards on the deck.
Okay.
No, because
But then the tokens
It's an
restart.
OP card. Do they?
I think you could, if it's
Yeah.
an
Because you said
enchantment,
that the player gets the counters, not the cards.
Well,
so if
that
you remove the
depen-
card,
that
the counters-
depends.
yeah, you
The
have to put the
research
counters
and
on the card.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Otherwise,
It's not fair.
yeah.
Right.
so you put the
Yeah.
counters on the card. Whenever you counter a creature spell, you put a counter on it,
Right.
Yeah.
and then
You can
And the
pay a certain.
enchantment has to have a certain number of
yeah,
counters.
at your
Yeah.
upkeep, then you win.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
go as low as 3.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See.
What about the card name? X counters.
Chromosome counters,
Ooh. Spooky.
and it's like genetic engineering art
We've
on
never
it.
done
And like,
cards before. We've never done card names.
We
What?
haven't.
Are you
That's
serious?
terrible.
I already have the name of mine.
genetic engineering, because X Y, like you can even do like X
Right.
and
We're
Y. different
theorists
numbers,
here. We're
Yeah.
about just the raw.
Yeah.
We care about the text box,
Yeah.
not the italicized text.
I like the art. I like the art
Basic
side
text.
of it.
We've
what the art
discussed
looks like.
art a couple times, I
That's true.
think.
We want to do an episode where we have a bunch of art prompts and we come up with cards for
Oh,
that
I would
art.
love to do that.
No.
All right. So what did you have in? What is Tristan's fair magic win con?
He is a creature.
Okay.
Nice. Strong
He-
start.
He is an elf druid.
Oh, I love
Those
it.
are
I
literally
love
the
it
2
already.
strongest tribes in Magic.
Usually dangerous.
Yeah, so I don't know about the cost. Alright. But he has an array of abilities.
Oh man. Okay.
Ooh.
But it's fair.
We're in the danger
I
zone.
think. We're
An
gonna
if
figure it out.
ability, like you can, or an or ability. I mean,
So he can be tapped,
Okay.
cost pending, to search for a land, a basic land. and
okay,
then
elf druid, obviously.
You can sacrifice a land, but depending on what color it is, it has a different effect.
Okay.
So it's a tap. Does it put it in your hand or into play?
In the hand.
Okay.
That's still really
Wait,
strong.
you can sack
Yeah.
a land.
You can sack a land
So-
to do what?
It would be like sack a mountain and deal whatever damage to your opponent.
Okay.
Or sack a plains and gain 5 life.
Oh, I like this. I like where this is going.
This is a
I like where this is going because it's already not a specific guild or a specific
sack an
color.
island boomerang.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Also, he's called Land of War Elves.
This is about ultimate win cons. Does he have one, or is he just sacrifice lands to do cool stuff?
Sacrifice lands do cool stuff.
All right. What about this? He also has at the beginning of your upkeep, if you have a plains, island, swamp, mountain, and forest in your graveyard, you win the game.
Yes, that is the
In your
color.
graveyard?
Yeah.
How much does this man cost?
3.
But you have to sacrifice those. But you have to sacrifice those lands. You
You're
have to
gonna
sacrifice each of those lands to win. That's crazy. Like to go a 5-color deck and then sacrifice each of those colors on separate turns without that guy dying. That's crazy. That's insane.
It's super easy to get stuff in the graveyard, though.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Even lands.
You two don't play EDH yet, do you?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, they don't.
Okay.
Oh.
What if it
So-
exiled lands and you had to have them in
That would be
exile?
super fair.
Yeah, that's okay. That works.
Yeah.
Okay.
We should do a podcast where you guys just teach us EDH.
We're,
Mhm.
That's this podcast.
Yeah.
We're doing that right now.
So basically, there's cards like Entomb in
Mhm.
EDH, which just get cards from your library
It's like-
into your
Yeah,
graveyard.
Yeah.
Tomb does it 3 times, right?
Wow.
That's Buried Alive.
Buried Alive's like get 3 creatures, put them in your
How
graveyard.
much does that cost?
A lot.
That's crazy.
Both of them are fairly expensive. Though.
Buried Alive is not.
No.
What?
Yeah,
Entomb
Entomb
is
is
like $20.
yeah, Entomb's 1 mana though.
Yeah.
Buried Alive is 3.
And instant speed.
Instant speed because why not?
Yeah.
They,
Why not?
they invented the instant speed technology, but they did not yet understand how powerful it was. So
Uh-huh.
they're just like put instant on everything. Fuck it. Who
Yeah.
cares? Who gives a shit?
Yeah.
My name's Richard Garfield and it's 1990. Okay, I got mine. I'm ready.
All right.
It is a Naya enchantment.
Okay.
I'm not sure about the mana cost. Probably just 3, unless it does something else other than this following effect, which is at the beginning of your upkeep, if you control 30 or more lands, and you control the most lands, you win the game.
I like that.
I love
That
that.
extra
Yeah.
fuck you the most.
I
Yeah.
love that.
That way you can't get there using symmetrical effects like
Right.
Collective Journey.
Yeah.
'Cause Collective Journey is
Yeah.
like everyone can pay X and get X number total, where X is the total number of mana spent. Everybody
Mhm.
gets that many lands. That's a spell that exists in Magic.
Yep.
That would be an easy way to break that card.
That's excellent.
Yeah, that's a well-designed card.
3 or
Very
And it
more.
good.
literally doesn't matter how much mana it costs.
What if it costs 5 mana and it lets you play an extra land each turn?
That's broken.
That's
Is that
broken.
broken?
That's
That
broken.
is
For
so
5 mana, that's so much in
beyond
3 colors.
broken.
Yeah.
Then you
Beyond
have to
broken.
survive those first 5 turns, right? Because what else are you gonna put in there other than lands to make that work? Oh, EDH. Sorry.
Yeah.
Got it.
There's a
Oh,
card called
yeah.
Exploration, which does that for a single green.
But it's a single green is the problem. Like fucking what's her name? The 4 mana enchantment elf lady. She's already
Mhm.
up on the screen when I've edited this video. She lets
Yep.
you play 2 lands.
Yep.
I mean, she's
We can't
brilliant.
keep doing that is the thing.
Oh
We
yeah,
can't
yeah.
keep adding more cards
But
that
it's
do that.
Naya. A tiny percentage of the decks get to play it. I'm going to bat for this card for no reason.
No, no, no.
I'm
You gotta
very
understand.
invested in it.
5-color Enchantress.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. 5 color does a lot of stuff though.
Yeah.
You're
It's
saying that
EDH.
just because
Yeah.
of 5 color Enchantress is too much.
Yes.
Who even plays that deck?
The worst caliber of people.
That's right, 5 mana Enchantress players. If you're watching this, fuck you. Alright.
Explain real quick.
Sure.
So EDH started with like the Elder Dragons, right?
Yeah.
That's what all the decks
Stands
are
for
based off
Elder
of.
Dragon Highlander.
So
Highlander meaning there can be only one of each card.
many years ago, a couple of Magic the Gathering judges,
History
not
lesson.
drugs, Magic the Gathering judges were in a hotel during a major event, and they were like, "We're bored. Let's come up with a new format, and let's make it as complicated as possible because we like weird card interactions." And they're
Mhm.
like, "What if it was 99 cards? You can only have one of each, and you have to have a creature that is legendary that exists outside of your deck that you can cast as many times as you want, and your deck has to match the colors of that creature."
Sounds like they were on a lot of magic drugs or whatever you
Yeah,
said.
yeah.
Have you guys seen that picture that's circulating around? That's it's the Magic the Gathering World Tournament from the 90s.
No.
It is like the most jank thing I've ever seen. Like the judge is a metalhead and he has no sleeves.
Oh
And,
my.
Like you can see the cards that are being played, they're unsleeved and the Power 9 cards are on the table. Like it's the wildest shit.
That's so
Like there's
awesome.
like a Mox whatever just
Uh-huh.
unsleeved
That
on
is
the table.
excellent. That's okay. The League of Legends first World Championship was I think played in like a Hilton,
Nice.
like in like the dining room or whatever, on a
Mm.
bunch of like Line X running computers.
Doesn't that
I mean,
how
Line
the
X, not
first World Championships start
dissing
at
Line
the
X,
Hilton.
but probably.
I feel like the Hilton is
Get
high
got
standard.
Linux users.
Yeah. That's not what it is. Please don't kill me. Dirty Python user.
Joke's on you. Nobody watches this. What
All
you
5
have
of
there,
them are
Sam?
coming for you.
Yeah.
So mine was, I believe, I think I had this costed at black red, hybrid black red
No.
1.
Banned. Alright. It's either all hybrid or no hybrid.
Start over.
I understand.
Okay. Proceed.
All right, fine. Triple black hybrid, black red hybrid, and 1.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, yeah.
No effect other than if at the beginning of each opponent's end step, at the beginning of each opponent's end step, if each player has no cards in hand, you win the game.
Wow.
Ooh. That's interesting.
That's actually way more difficult than like the earlier iteration we were
Yeah.
talking about. Yeah.
No, the first one that I'd thought up was if at the beginning of your end step, each player controls
Oh,
no
no.
cards.
Yeah.
But that's so easy
Oh,
to
we were
do.
also
Right.
At one point we were talking about like a Rakdos enchantment where at any point if someone had no cards in hand, they die.
Oh yeah.
This is kind of hardcore.
That is the most metal
Yeah.
magic card I've
Yeah.
ever heard in my
Sudden
entire
death.
life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't like that.
But yours is very interesting.
Do you think it's fair?
I don't think it's fair.
Why?
Because if your deck's built around making them discard, most cards that make your opponent discard are instants, right?
They're sorceries.
It's actually
There's
super
like
rare.
maybe one that I can't think of what it is. Instant speed discard effect.
But
Well-
what? So there are no cards that are like on each, like at each upkeep or at each draw step. You have to discard a card or
There's
something
some really
like that.
complicated ways to do that, but
But it's too complicated to like count really as like a factor in.
like at that
Okay.
point you're usually gonna win the game anyway
There's-
because you're
Okay.
drawing all of
My-
somebody's cards. for
Myojin
them.
of Night's Reach and
Yeah, there's Myojin of Night's Reach,
Yeah.
which
Okay.
is instant speed. It's a god from Kamigawa.
What you mean Kamigawa?
I don't.
Oh, can we settle something?
What?
Yeah.
Selesnya?
Selesnya.
Yeah.
He says Selesnya.
Selesnya? That's what I say. It's an imaginary
Oh.
word. You can't tell me how to pronounce it.
Magic does.
I mean, they do. They try to.
Celestia. I've always
make that
said
happen.
Yeah.
Also,
Celestia.
Garuk, not Garrick.
Yeah, you're right.
No, I agree with that one.
Yeah.
Wait, so is it Celestia or
Celestia.
Selesnia?
Voiced S. Zzz.
Z?
Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't know if that part
Selesnya.
matters.
I
Depends
think
on
it's
what part of the country you're from.
Celestia. I don't know. I feel very strongly about that.
They're definitely in my top.
What
Actually,
part
I
of the
think they're-
country says Z and what part of the country says S?
I think they're like number one guild I would smoke weed with.
Celestia? Oh my god, yeah.
They're the only ones that have it.
Rakdos though.
No, they have opium.
Just doing
They have
that.
They have
opium. you're
opium
right.
and Boros confiscated weed from all the other guilds.
That's
That's right.
Damn,
But
got
Selesnya is out in the forest, and they're like, I'm not.
Who's the
comfortable.
one
Yeah.
Boros chick on a horse or like a unicorn or whatever is flying? Pegasus. What is her name?
She's not Boros.
Really?
No, she's white. Flight of the Equinox?
No, not that one. Although I was thinking of the arc for that one, so maybe I was thinking of that one. I don't know. Damn.
Sorry.
Anyway.
Finish.
This is gonna be a Magic the Gathering card with a bunch of question marks on it.
Yeah.
XY question mark.
Mhm. I'm
Did I
really
finish
excited.
explaining Myojin of Night's Reach? I forget.
No, okay. So Myojin of Night's Reach, it's like what is it like a spirit or an avatar?
It's a legendary
Just something.
spirit something. Yeah.
So it comes into play with a divinity counter on it, and as long as it has a divinity counter on it, it's indestructible. It has an ability that costs one divinity counter, which is target player discards their hand.
Each player.
Each player discards their hand.
I'm pretty sure.
So you're just like dumpster.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that would be too broken with yours.
well, I mean that's like one 2-card combo. It's not
Yeah.
hard.
Yeah. Okay. I think it's fair.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. It's pretty good actually,
Yeah. I think it's good, but I don't think it's like
especially because you have to
Unreasonable.
play it on your own turn and telegraph it, so you give people like
Yeah.
a heads up.
a
Don't
little bit of time to
like
respond.
go without a hand.
Alright.
I like it.
And
Did
it's
we
each
say whether
opponent's
yours
end
was
step,
fair or
not
not?
on your
I
own.
don't think we
Yeah,
did.
Mine was deemed not to have a win condition.
You just
Oh,
made
well,
up
yeah,
a
you
cool
did.
card,
Yeah.
which is
Okay.
fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I understood the.
With cards that have the text, if X, you win the game.
Or target
Not
player
necessarily
loses.
X, because that's my genetic
yeah.
engineering
No.
card.
Can't have that.
I want to do Door to Nothingness. Do you guys know Door to Nothingness?
No.
Vaguely.
I know Journey to Eternity. because
Door to
it's written on
Nothingness
the
is an
center.
artifact, and it has 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, 2 green
Oh
tap.
my
So you pay 10 mana and tap, target player loses the game.
Yeah, that's fine, but that's crazy.
That's a card that exists.
Yeah.
I want a colorless win condition that does not involve colored mana.
Ooh.
Do you want it to have require colorless
Specifically
mana?
colorless mana?
I'm
Yeah.
down with that.
Yeah.
10 colorless man.
Yeah.
Door to nothing.
Yeah.
Nailed
That would
it.
be hilarious.
Kozilek's door to nothingness.
Yeah. That's actually great.
Yeah, I really like
But
that.
it's a sorcery.
This is all specifically for EDH though, right? Or almost specifically.
Dude, I would play
There's
colorless door to nothing standard.
Yeah.
Tokens out. I would try to play that deck.
Yeah.
Oh my god. That would be legit.
I really like that one actually.
Yeah, that's
Because
great.
colorless mana is something that I've never actually played with. I'm scared of it.
Make the artifact cost 5 colored mana, one of each.
No. That's specifically against the rules that I set out.
Yeah.
You can have it cost 5 colorless mana
Yeah.
and just look real ugly.
That would look nice.
It
I like that symbol.
is a good symbol.
Mhm. I feel like it'd be hard to count.
If they do
You
get
get a
hard
little,
to
you get
count.
a little
I'm
confused
glad
at,
I'm not the only
3.
person who fucking struggles if there's more than 3 symbols.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If there's more than 4, I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I can't see it.
Fucking Primal Crux.
Primal Crux is impossible.
8 forests in a row.
Oh God.
Seething Song, Geo Surge. I love it when we name a bunch of cards like really fast in a row.
Yeah,
'Cause it's
for
really
when you're
fun
editing this, it's
To
real
put
fun.
up all those cards.
Yeah.
Quick, let's think of a couple more. Adoring Nothingness.
Oh God. Yeah. Can you do them alphabetically?
No.
Oh, okay.
What's this?
Yeah, what?
He cleared his throat like he was about to say all the cards.
I
at
was just
once.
gonna spit out every card I knew.
Go ahead.
Oh God.
Fuck
The
you,
editing.
Future
I
Will.
don't want
The editing.
I give a shit. How do you think I got here? Got him.
Ooh.
All right. Any other win cons we got floating around?
I got nothing.
Yeah. Can we talk about current win condition cards?
Coalition Victory.
Oh man.
Which one? You gotta explain it to me.
One of each color.
Okay.
Enchantment. If at the beginning of your upkeep you control a land of each basic land type, you win the game.
But it costs a land of each, basically.
Yes, it does.
So they get one turn
That's
to do
rough.
something about it.
That's rough.
Oh.
That's an
Yeah.
actual card?
Yeah, it's totally
oh my
banned.
God.
It's banned.
Yeah,
in
yeah,
EDH
yeah,
also.
Yeah.
So that's not fair
No.
because I banned it.
It's not fair magic.
Yeah.
One would say.
What
if
about
it was,
another one?
what if it was 2 of each basic land type?
That's what it cost, or that's what you had to pay?
I'm saying like you have to have 2 planes, 2.
Yeah.
That's still not fair.
Just have one of each dual land.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Oof.
Forgot
yeah.
about dual lands because I don't own any.
Yeah.
'Cause I'm a scrub.
I mean, shocks work too.
Oh yeah.
You know.
No.
Mm.
You're just swagging on people because you have old fancy lands. That's
Yeah.
like literally the thesis of what I don't like about Magic.
Exactly. Yeah.
You lose the game because you don't have duels.
Yeah.
Ah, it makes me so mad.
Mhm. There's Mechanized Production,
Oh,
Mhm.
which is out of Aether Revolt, I believe. I'm not entirely sure I got what Coalition Victory's win conditions are right. We'll see later. But no, Mechanized Production is enchant an artifact. At the beginning of your upkeep, make a copy of that artifact. And if on the beginning of your upkeep you control 8 of any artifact, you win the game.
8 of any?
Yeah.
Eddie?
It's not
Any.
specific.
It's not
any.
the one you enchant.
Is this
Ah.
also?
Wait, hold on. It's 8
Bam.
copies of 1, right?
8 instances of any one
Okay,
artifact.
for a second I thought you were saying if you control 8 artifacts.
Oh
you
my
win
God,
the
me
game.
too.
No.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right.
You got-
Sure.
you got the
Yeah, I think
classic?
that's fair.
Labman.
Yep.
Lab Maniac. Laboratory Maniac says if you would draw a card and you can't, instead of losing the game, you win the game.
Oh, I love that card.
Yeah,
I
that
hate
sounds like
that's your-
something that
that's
we
your
should
alternate win con?
love.
Getting drawn out is my least favorite thing in the world.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what happens when you don't have any cards to draw in Keyforge? You shuffle your discard and keep drawing.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's how
really-
games should be played.
It's wild.
Or you play all you have.
Is
You
that
got-
how Final Fantasy's played? The game, the card game.
I don't know.
I don't think we've ever gotten to the bottom of the library in that game.
Can't do it. It's impossible.
Is it impossible?
I know nothing about this game.
Is
Yeah,
it?
neither do
I wish that you guys, yeah, every time that we say "is it," like in casual conversation, we go, "Is it?"
God, I wish I could feel joy related to those kinds of jokes. It's just like all of the magic jokes have been ruined for me working here.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you know, I wonder about that with you guys.
Yeah.
Of like, what conversations do you hate having? Especially when I start a conversation with you, I'm like, man, I wonder if he's like, I don't want to fucking talk about it anymore. You're like the 8th person to say that to me today.
All right. I'm gonna level with you.
Let's do it.
Do it.
Non-zero chance that we're gonna edit this. 'Cause
Yeah.
Of reasons.
Okay.
Sorry.
What I
Find out.
can't stand is when people give me their draft decks.
Oh no! That's what I was gonna say.
Oh.
That's what I was gonna say.
I understand. I do
Uh,
it too. If I think I have a dope draft deck, I'll hand it
Look at
around.
this
Yeah.
deck.
But I hate when people do it to me, specifically when I'm actually working. Like if I'm in the draft, sure, I'll look at your fucking deck. That's fun.
Right.
But if I'm like trying to do my job
Look
and
at
you're
this
like,
draft.
here, look at my fucking things I shoved together.
So is it
Is it?
that you don't like?
Sounds nice.
I wish that I could,
Well done.
I forget what I was saying. That was really funny.
Is it that you don't like?
Is it that you don't like people coming up to you being like, haha, I did such a good job, or help, like asking you for help?
Asking me for help is totally different. I
Yeah,
love when
that's
people
fine.
do
Okay.
that.
That's what I was gonna say. Was
Yeah.
if I've done that, it's because I'm wondering because we just got back in the or I just got back.
No,
in
I
the
feel,
shoes.
I feel
I'm
at this
just
point I
starting.
should clarify. I mean, I've completed my deck.
Mhm.
I think it's so cool that I'm going to
Oh,
start showing it to this guy.
No.
No.
Like he's gonna validate me.
Especially
Yeah.
while you're working.
Oh,
Yeah.
Like
like here, senpai.
Hell
Yeah.
no.
literally showing us
Showing
any stack of cardboard
Yeah.
of any kind that you made is going to be unimpressive because we've seen literally every fucking stack.
What, if,
Yeah.
what if I'm showing you a game that you guys haven't played?
That's different.
That's, again,
Yeah.
totally different. But no,
Final Fantasy card game.
if people are looking like
Check it
for actual, like,
Feedback.
I don't, yeah, feedback of any kind. I love, like,
Yeah.
helping people enjoy the game that I also enjoy.
I don't know why my $100 five-color Genji of the Realms deck isn't working. Help!
But yeah,
It's because I don't have any non-basics. That's why.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
Yeah.
That was a little too deep for the two of us, I think. That
Yeah.
joke.
No, I got it.
You got that joke?
They don't have any non-basic lands. So how
No,
do
he
you
said
expect-
Genji of the I don't know.
Oh,
what that
Genju of the Realms.
Genji.
That's what I was
other
trying to
realms.
say.
Yeah.
I mangled it
See.
pretty hard.
Yeah, it's a it's a 5-color legendary enchant land
Mhm.
that is technically not EDH legal, but people around here play it 'cause
We
it's
don't
fucking fun.
Okay.
So legendary enchantment that enchants a land.
And the land
5
can then turn into like an 8/12 with trample or something.
I want
for,
that.
No, I think it just is that creature.
Yep.
Can we talk
that's
about
so awesome.
what legendary cards we would and would not allow as generals? Like where the line is?
Yeah.
Like I draw the line at Elbrus the Binding Blade. I would allow that as a general.
I would not.
You
I think
wouldn't?
that is ridiculous.
What? It's a mono black. It's an enchantment that's like impossible to pull off in mono black.
That is true. I don't like it.
Okay. Alright. If you don't like
How
it.
many?
Should we tell them?
How many black mana see what?
Should we tell them that we don't know anything before this?
Okay, so
Is that
Elbrus the
right?
Binding
Okay.
Blade. Let's talk about this card because it's actually
Yeah.
dope as fuck.
Yeah.
Okay.
Elbrus the Binding Blade is a 5-mana artifact.
Mhm.
That has some flavor text about there being like a demon in that sword
Okay.
or
That's
something.
cool.
You cost 1. You pay 1 to equip to a creature. That creature gets +1/+1, no additional effects. If you deal combat damage while Elbrus the Binding Blade is equipped to a creature, it transforms. You flip it over. On the other side is a 13/13 demon with flying and trample.
Oh my.
Mhm.
And it gets what, like 10 counters?
13.
It gets 13 more +1/+1 counters whenever another player loses the game.
What? Oh, that's
Yeah,
so awesome.
Yeah.
Elbrus. I love it.
Wow. Okay, who made that card up? I want to be that guy's friend.
That guy's a dick.
No, that guy's awesome.
That guy's obviously a dick.
He obviously knows a lot about magic. and
Okay,
this one
I-
would be totally
I've
ridiculous.
played-
I
but
hope you
also
email
still
him
be
and you
legal.
get to meet him and you come home and you're like,
He was
That
dead.
guy's a
He was-
dick.
Yeah.
Here's what happens when you play Elbrus the Binding Blade. As a person who's played it in an EDH deck, you play the creature, you play the enchantment, and everyone's like, oh fuck, and you're like, it's not that big a deal. You equip it, you deal damage, you get 13/13 flyer, and everyone's like, oh my god, 13/13 flyer! Like their heads are exploding. It's just like literally
Does he
that
kill?
guy has like 2 10/10s, and then they kill it immediately before you can do anything.
Yeah.
That's what happens when you play Elbrus.
yeah, I was gonna say
Gotcha.
if he's not hexproof or indestructible. Okay.
Okay.
He is just a big old boy. with Flample.
Oh, dude, what's the name of the legendary church that turns into a giant demon?
Oh,
Ooh,
Westvale
Westvale
Abbey.
Abbey.
Westvale
Got
Abbey.
See, I got that one.
Proud of you.
I would not allow
Sounds
that as a general.
Absolutely. A land as
A
your
land as a
general?
general,
That's unacceptable.
Nope.
Unless you're also running Land of War.
Hey.
ELO.
yeah.
Also, a land can be your general.
Yeah.
Nah. That's broken.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
But if your land general gets destroyed, you still have to pay 2 more to play it. The second time.
I like that.
Yeah, I think land as general is fair magic.
Is
Yeah.
it?
I think
Ooh,
so.
Yeah.
I'm not sold on it.
What does it do?
It gets you a free guaranteed land.
One time.
That's enough. Telling you, man.
No, I think Westvale would be a fair general.
You play Westvale as your legendary land general,
Uh-huh.
and then you mulligan until you're playing a colorless deck.
No,
Or
you,
like
you
mono
play
black.
black.
Who gives a shit? You fucking mulligan until you get Soul Ring in your hand, and then you guaranteed like land Soul Ring. You get more mulligans. Like I don't know. I think it has the potential to go horribly awry.
Yes.
Although I can't quite articulate why. For some reason,
It's a mystery to all of us.
nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have different themes for the podcast every time?
Yes.
Predetermined.
Do we adhere to them?
Sometimes.
Sort of.
We've done it before.
Yeah.
Can we do one that's lore centered?
Like what kind of lore?
Like, I don't know, favorite planeswalker based off their role in the story.
Ooh. That would be
Wait,
nice.
are we coming up with new planeswalkers?
No.
No.
Or
Just
we're,
like
we're
evaluating
making
current
new
lore.
planeswalkers.
Uh-huh.
I don't
No.
understand.
What?
You just asked, are we making new planeswalkers?
Or are we
are
making new
That's what you
planeswalkers?
do. You catch people in a false binary and you control their decisions.
I see.
So wait, are we coming
No,
up
we're
with
just
cards?
talking
Oh,
about the lore.
So we're
We
picking
just
like
want to talk about planeswalkers.
Yeah, like which one?
I
from-
don't think anyone
Like
talks
which-
about flavor text or lore enough, and it makes me sad because I feel like a lot of people work really hard on this awesome story.
You also
that
played
no
the
one-
spoils, where all of the flavor text and like card names and like art was super like hyper related to the lore and what was going on.
Yeah, it's true in Magic.
I mean, no, yeah, I completely agree, but people didn't acknowledge it as much as they did with the spoils.
Hey, what conversation are you having with your eyes?
so
Yeah.
what I was interpreting that to be was first, you should talk to Cass about the lore. That man knows too much of
That
it.
mofo loves his lore.
Okay.
Oh, great. Where is he?
He is at home
Right
asleep.
now,
I mean, no, it's a normal time of day.
Right.
he's still at home asleep.
Does he work?
He works here.
Okay.
Yes.
He works at the Sabaros.
Uh-huh.
I have to go get a pizza.
Cass is just a
Yeah.
guy now.
But then also, they write stories for Magic.
Yeah, there's magic fiction you can go read.
Yeah, like they
Like
publish.
novels.
Well, that too,
There's
but
also
also
Books.
there's like a weekly, or not weekly, but they release some number of them each block or each set
Oh.
actually of little stories,
That's
often
cool.
from the perspective of planeswalkers. Yeah, you should definitely look into that.
I listened
And
to an
there
audio
goes
drama.
This week's page.
Sounds right. Yeah, that was great.
I also have an RPG that I made that you can play as planeswalkers. So if you guys want to get on that,
Yes,
Oh yeah.
100%.
break that
That's
back
so
out.
awesome.
What planeswalkers are playable?
right now I have support for up to tricolor planeswalkers and colorless planeswalkers in Phyrexians.
Okay, so you just pick your color and then.
It's weird. It's a weird game. It's card based. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
We're gonna revamp it. It's gonna be fun.
Okay. So it's not the role playing game that you have out there.
No. Yeah, I did mine like fucking 3 years ago now. I missed the boat super hard. I probably should have just tried to publish it or something.
Mm.
Oh well. All right. I think that's fair magic.
Yeah, seems like.
I think we nailed it.
Yeah.
I think we nailed
Yeah, we did great. Everything's
And
fine.
I had a lot
it.
of fun.
Everything's fine. All right, party
That
people.
was super fun.
Catch you next time.
Bye.
Bye.